there was a little fire at work, on a bus, and we have radios, like the supervisors and maintenance have radios, and someone started panicking, called maintenance, who you usually call for a fire, and and the guy goes, maintenance, there's a fire, and the maintenance goes, where? Over here. Where? Over here. Where the
sounds like
is over here?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dads in Gaming episode 5. I am your host, Octane Pro, joined as always by Goldie and Glock 9. How's it going, gentlemen?
Very good.
All right.
All right, good. So we have made it. We're kind of making our way up the hill here. Episode 5. Episode 10 is our first milestone, so we're looking forward to it here. So before we go ahead and jump into it, I thought we'd kind of nail some business here. So Goldie, what's the latest and greatest on the audio front? How are we looking thus far? Where are we at now, and where are we hoping to be?
So we are now on Spotify and running smooth. Between Spotify and Podbean, we are at a total of 98 downloads right now.
Cool.
So out of all episodes, that's really exciting. We're almost at that first 100 milestone.
And that's just on audio. I mean, that's not
just
including
audio, right?
YouTube
That's not
for all of
including our
us.
YouTubes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Cool.
So between all 4 episodes, between Podbean and Spotify, we're at 98 downloads. So that's
cool.
Really exciting. In the next week, I hope to be on iTunes. I got a lot going on right now, so it's trying to just schedule everything and put everything in the right spot. But hopefully iTunes is the next spot.
Awesome. And as always, we do have a Twitter account, so make sure you guys do go ahead and follow us over on Twitter if you're interested in keeping up with when episodes drops. That is Dads in Gaming on Twitter. All right, cool. Well, let's throw it over to Glock 9. What have you been up to this past week since last episode? Latest and greatest with the family, with streaming, content creation. Where have you been? Where have you been at, and what have you been playing?
Like my girl Rihanna would say, work. No, just same old things. Streaming every day, doing the whole charity thing, and which we hit the $1,000 milestone on that one, which is really cool.
That's exciting. What do you got there?
You guys can't see this on Spotify, but that's from last year, the silver medal.
Oh, nice.
That you get, I think, for raising $750. It was crazy. The crazy story about this is, so this came in the same day that I got the notification. Like I wasn't even streaming. Someone saw that we were almost at $1,000, and they donated $15, so we hit the $1,000 goal. So next year I have a gold one.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I've been working on setting up a visit with Valley Children's Hospital. They want me to go. I think I talked to you guys about it before, but
yep.
Now with the whole coronavirus thing, there's no visiting.
Well, you know what? Just delay it. But either way, I think that's awesome.
Once the whole little worriness over that,
cool.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Cool. But awesome. Us, most introvert content creator streamers are safe. They never leave the 4 walls of their.
There's no safer place than right here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, awesome. Sounds good. And what have you been playing the last week on stream?
Well, I decided to try and play Paladins yesterday, but that update was more broken than Realm has ever been.
Ooh, all right. I jumped in earlier, and there's definitely quite a bit of changes I saw.
There's a lot of good changes, but we couldn't even get in there. So we jumped on. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Actually, having a lot of fun with that. Getting ready for the BR.
Yeah, when does that drop? When does that drop?
The rumor is next week, but again, that's a rumor.
Okay.
But so I'm just but I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've just been playing team deathmatch and gunfight and domination. Is a lot of fun, and then playing a little Fortnite, a little bit of bot plays on there.
Nice. There you go. Well, Goldie, what about you, man?
I won.
Yeah, I won. Goldie, what about you? What have you been up to content creation wise, family wise? What's been going on?
Just back to streaming. I took today off. I just needed a mental health day. I had a little bit of a headache this morning when I woke up, so I just like, you know what, instead of making it worse, just take the day. But yeah, just back to streaming. It's nice. I was on vacation last week and then went to PAX East for 2 days.
How was that? How was that? Give us the lowdown. How was it compared to other events that you've been to? And my second biggest question is, how was it with all of the coronavirus buzz?
So it was an experience. I've never been to a PAX before. My first convention ever was Comic-Con.
Okay.
My second was DreamHack HRX, and now this is my third. This reminded me of like a scaled down Comic-Con in New York. A lot of people. There was so much. It was a stimulation overload. That's the best way to put it. There was so much going on. There's so many people, so many different things you can do. I was only there for 2 days and I couldn't get everything done.
Wow. Was it all in one ballroom or was it multiple ballrooms?
It was one ballroom, but broken into 2 different sections.
Okay.
So you had like the video game side, and then you had more of the tabletop gaming side. Magic the Gathering had a large trunk.
The OG days right there. I missed Magic Gathering.
Dude, so I've been playing Magic Gathering Arena on PC. I haven't sat down and played cards in years. I still have some of my decks, but I was like, you know what? No wife, no kids. Like, I have time to myself.
Why not?
I'm gonna sit down and just play some games. And I did some open pack tournaments. You get 1 pack, you open it up, and whatever's in that pack is your deck, and you just play like that. And that was really fun. It was exciting.
There's a place that opened up back. My parents live about 2 hours from me, and there's a place that opened up, of course, after I moved, called Pop In, and it's all like video game and superhero themed, but it's a traditional bar. But they have like Magic the Gathering like tournaments every single like Tuesday. And it's like a full bar setup. So it's like, man, where were you when I was growing up? Like, like that stuff wasn't around. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't cool to sit around, drink beer, and play Magic the Gathering or whatever. So,
what happened was the kids that were your age, like in the same thing, they grew up and said,
they grew up and bought a bar.
That's what I wanted when I was younger. So yeah, I mean the same thing. I have a hobby shop that moved near me. It's every time I go in there, it's people playing and I like tabletop games too. I enjoy those. And you know, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and I'm just like, man, I wish I had time to just I wish I was 15 again. So yeah, but it was a fun experience. There was the convention center in Boston had hand sanitizer everywhere. Like, anytime you like would go near stairs, bathrooms, escalators, like anytime you moved into a new area, there was sanitized stations. They were selling little small bottles, so people were carrying them all over, and like they could latch onto your bags.
Okay.
So, I mean, normally those type of conventions to me smell like a wet fart.
Yep.
But it smelled like
hand sanitizer
the whole time. So it was good.
Nice.
There was people that had masks on,
Okay. Sure. People not surprising.
So yeah. So it was.
Did it seem more empty with everybody backing out last minute, or did you not even know?
Honestly, I didn't notice. It was bigger than when we were.
The pictures I saw from people that I know that were there, it didn't look empty, but you saw a bunch of people like backing out last minute.
I saw people, and then like High Res was one of the ones that I think know the most of. But then I did see other publishers groups like just back out of it, and I can completely understand that. It's like they're also thinking of their people, which is a really cool business mindset to have, to be like, no, I'm more concerned about my employees than the marketing loss here. So totally understandable.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't notice it. There was so many people, and there was so much things going on, and there was games I didn't even get to play because 4-hour lines, and it was an experience. I really, really enjoyed it. And now I'm trying to decide on what my next venture will be. Like, myself and my wife were talking about it tonight. Like, it's either going to be PAX West or it's going to be HRX. I can't do both.
Yeah, sure.
I gotta figure out to do one.
When's PAX West though?
PAX West is August.
This August?
Yeah, this August. No, there's no dates for it yet. And then
Glock 9 is such an asshole.
January. So the problem I have is I really want to go to HRX, and I do want to go to PAX too, but I feel like I'd enjoy HRX more.
So this is a really good segue. So like Glock, have you been to HRX at all? Not DreamHack, but HRX.
Not when it's just HRX.
Okay. So I have been to 5 of them. And then I've been to the DreamHack, and they're totally different atmospheres. So if you are a high-res fan in any capacity, and you're a content creator like both of you guys are, it will be a much more enjoyable experience. And here's why I say that. So Monster, yeah. So all the HRXs that I've been to are they have the same communal feel that you have on, as we've talked about on your streams with other high-res games. It's there, and you feel it when you're there. The atmosphere is not what you're getting at like a PAX event, and I think that helps because like everyone's playing like these 3 games or these 4 games. The way they have it there is like the Cobb Energy Center is actually the second location. Their first location, I can't remember the name of it, was even smaller. But Cobb Energy Center has a giant, it's not even a ballroom. It's literally like a theater setup. So you have like booths and everything like that. They have a huge stage. That's where like Smite has always been in the Paladins, like grand finals and stuff like that. But then they have like stuff out in the hallway, and then you go down a giant hall, and then there's a giant ballroom that has like another stage for all the games, and then tons of vendor stuff. But it's definitely worth going because like think of it this way. Take that community aspect, and now it's like, oh, it's Friday night. What's everyone doing? It's either everyone stays at 2 hotels. Anyone stays at 2 hotels. So the hotel bars are filled with people that you know. Other content creators, employees, stuff like that. Even though it's big, it still feels small, which is great. Well, so like
I was gonna say, I can't imagine it being bigger than DreamHack.
No, it's not.
There were people at DreamHack that had no idea like what high res expo.
Well, exactly, and that's that's the difference. Is like you come outside of these events and you take over like this area of Atlanta, and everybody walking around you could tell is a fellow like gamer, and they're playing the same games you're playing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different experience. That's why I say like, hey, if you like DreamHack is not a good representation of what HRX is or was.
Right.
Is Octane Pro going to be at HRX?
I'm hoping to. This might actually be the first year that I go and do not work the event. So like I have worked the event every year up till this past DreamHack. And the fact that now Skillshot and High Res Studios are separate from a producing group. Like Skillshot's doing their own thing, and High Res actually has like I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but High Res now has their own production area versus it's not Skillshot anymore, and they have their own production team. So I don't know. It might be I definitely I would say I haven't checked with the wife yet, but if all looks good. There's no kids, so that'll be
good. Octane and Glock 9 at 2 in the morning.
Well, that's
glow sticks.
That's the argument, or not even argument. It's just a discussion that we're going back and forth and having. Because if I go to PAX West, it's going to be more of the mixer side, mixer community.
Yep.
And large scale. So from what I'm told, West is bigger than East.
That's what I've heard too. Yep.
So it's going to be even more than what I just experienced. The other half of me wants HRX because that'll be the high res side of me.
I would do it, and here's why.
I would know more people on that side, and it'll be a little bit smaller, family oriented.
I would do it at least once because you've said it. Like you've done PAX there, okay?
Right.
Like, and so now it's like, all right, try that HRX side, and then you at least know moving forward.
I could always end up back at a PAX,
Yeah.
The issue comes in. PAX is it's like the second to last week of August. They haven't given the actual dates yet, but based off of last year, it's like the second to last weekend in August. The last weekend in August, or first weekend in September, however you want to look at it, like right around there, starts school here in New York.
Okay.
So it'll be it'll be tough with going on vacation right before school.
You're going to HRX. You're going to HRX. It is settled. We are settling it here.
Here's the flip side, though.
Okay.
HRX 2 weeks after, or 3 weeks after Christmas.
Okay.
2 weeks after my son's birthday, because my son's birthday is New Year's Eve. And every year in January, we go with the kids to Great Wolf.
Okay, so
in Pennsylvania,
my
so it's like now.
Yeah, you know what? You're coming my way. Great Wolf is near me, man. So I'll settle it right here for you. Okay. HRX has always been the same weekend. My son's birthday is on the 10th, and I still go.
My son's birthday's on the 15th.
I know.
So I might be okay.
It's on the 10th. So yeah, so we'll see. Right. But yeah, I mean, I am actually probably going to try to put together a YouTube video on like HRX and break down like these are the different like I was telling you, I'm like these are the places you stay. Like try to stay here. Like this is what it's looked like in the past, and this is what to expect and stuff like that. Only because I've done it for the last few years. So no, I think it's awesome.
I probably will end up doing HRX. That's it. I feel like it'll be a little bit cheaper, and because I don't have to travel literally coast to coast. Like
yeah.
I don't, so that alone is gonna be tough for me.
Yep.
Listen, Goldie, I will probably be at both, so you'll see me one way or another. Okay.
I would love to go to both if I could pull that off. The only way
I already know I'm gonna go to HRX no matter what because I had such a great time last time. Yeah. But as like PAX West is like, I think a flight's like an hour from there or from here to Seattle.
Oh man,
yeah, it's Seattle.
Yeah, I really want to go to PAX. Everyone wanted me to go to PAX East, and I'm all like, dude, that's such a quick turnaround from going to Atlanta. I was like, and I just went back to work recently. I was like, dude, I can't afford that. Yeah. And I was like, you want to donate a plane ticket? I'll sleep on your floor too.
Yeah. Awesome. Other than that, I'm trying to think for me and my side of the world. Let's see. In the last 2 weeks, I've been hitting the YouTube content hard. I actually have a pretty cool video coming out here. I haven't said anything about it yet, but and this is piggybacking off of Glock, but more up to date. I did do a full Q&A with the latest devs of Realm Royale. So I asked some nice spicy questions that I think all of us have been wondering, but never gotten an answer to.
Did they actually answer?
You'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, so that one's coming down the line here. I'll probably have that one out in 2 weeks as I have some other loaded content coming on, but I think that'll be good. I think there's a big gap in knowledge between the devs and the community right now, so that'll be helpful there. Other than that, what else is going on? Nothing else too crazy. Just been streaming here and there. This actually was different, and I was telling you guys about earlier. It was from a content creation side. I had my first publisher approach me because of my YouTube content via email and asked me to play in their closed beta and provided codes for it. And that was kind of like okay, some of this hard work might be paying off. Yeah, look at Gawk9. Yeah.
I just downloaded it.
Yeah, it's and I'm not being paid. It's not advertisement. It's they literally said, hey, if you want to use these codes, great. If not, pass them on to someone that will. And so it's for a game called Agents Biohunters. It is, the way their site says it is, it's like Monster Hunter meets Fortnite meets, what was the other one there? There's like 3 things there. But anyways, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be kind of cool. So I handed out a few codes that I had available to me. So I'll be playing that this weekend. And the final thing is, you talked about tabletop. I participated in my first tabletop experience playing tabletop games last weekend.
I saw your picture on that.
Yeah, we played Massive Darkness, and it was I have never played D&D. I've never played a tabletop game before, and it was like 5 to 6 hours of me sitting around on a Saturday, drinking beer, playing this game, and it was a ton of fun because I don't know that I've ever gamed without streaming, let alone now dabbled into something like this. So it was a blast, and I'm already itching for okay, when can I do it again? I'm interested in playing it again.
It's so what you should really get into is a really OG game, Pokemon. It was great.
Pokemon card game or
the card game? Yeah.
Oh, the card game. Okay.
Dude,
okay.
Pokemon card game, dude.
Yeah.
If you ever played
I did not like the card game.
Well, first of all, when you go against me with a what is this called? A holographic, whatever the frick Charizard. Let's go.
Let's go. My son collects the cards, but it's more like, here's my binder, and I'm gonna put every
what
card.
most people did, but when you actually sat down, you wanted to flex on someone. You go, all right, dude, you may have beat my Pikachu, but check this out. Bam, YouTube, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh. I was always Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
always Magic the Gathering, and then I think I phased out of, as a kid, the Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh era. I played the Game Boy game and I enjoyed the show, but like no one knew that.
Okay, well, first of all, let's see here, Boomer. You were a little bit too old when Pokemon came out. Okay.
Yeah, I was.
No, you're absolutely right. I have it.
I watched it, but no one knew I watched it. Magic, I didn't give a shit because Magic was still like, you had some dark adult stuff in that, so
sure,
didn't mind about that. There is a lot of cool tabletop games out there, and one of them is Talisman. So if you ever get to play that one, that's a fun.
You're good. I clicked on trying to bring up a Boomer. I had a little Boomer graphic I wanted to bring up.
That was a straight Boomer graphic right there. I saw it. All right, let's move into the actual topic of the video.
Yeah. So let's do it. So one thing that we've wanted to touch on for a while now, and to reel it back into the heart of the show, which was more like, and this is the topic pretty much this week, is kids in gaming. And so we're going to let Glock go ahead and roll a clip of a audio clip that we have from Todd Harris, who's the CEO of Skillshot, talking at a conference about kids in gaming. So go ahead.
Here we go.
I know to you it seems silly that when you say dinner's ready, turn off that game, he or she doesn't come right away. But if they're playing a competitive multiplayer game, that is equivalent to dragging them off the basketball court while their team is in the middle of a game. They are letting their teammates down, and it will go on their permanent record. That is the analogy. Now, I'm not saying if you use it as a teachable moment to say, if the game takes between 20 minutes and 40 minutes, and we're going to have dinner here, you can't start a game before that, right? But realize what they are participating in, what level of importance it means to them and their teammates. And if you wouldn't drag them out in the middle of the basketball game, don't kick them out of the online game without any warning.
Okay, cool. So we're going to chat about kind of kids in gaming overall. So I'll throw this over to Goldie, let him lead it this week. Kind of take it away.
So I agree with that statement 100%. A lot of people don't look at video games as a sport, and the three of us know there is a separate side of playing video games. We've had the it's just a game conversation, we've broken that down, but the older generation, I won't use that B word.
Boomer.
The older generation doesn't see that. And when I say older generation, to me, my dad, our parents, they don't understand what we're in. We grew up with the game. So people our age, and when I say age, the 25 to 35, even a little bit older age range, understands more that there is a competitive side to gaming. They might not see it as that or know or really ever experienced it, but they do know there's competitive sides. I think now where we are, our generation knows of the competitive side, understands the competitive side, sees the competitive side growing. And I personally would love to see my kids in that sport.
Sure.
Because that's what it is. It's a sport. Yeah. And, I played football in high school. I played baseball in high school. I still, out of high school, I was playing men's softball. Like I still enjoyed sports. But gaming was always my first love. So my sons right now are in soccer. Haley's in dance, which to me is another sport. It's just, some people don't see that as a sport, and it is. Mm-hmm. I equivalent it to when I was a kid, my dad would have me when I was practicing getting ready for baseball. I'd have to hit a ball off a tee in my backyard for an hour. Like that was my practice.
Yep,
it was my practice. Every day during the season, I was hitting a ball off the tee for an hour. My wife played basketball in high school and in college, and she every day had to be outside playing basketball for an hour. I see no difference with video games, like especially if like they start getting on that competitive side. If you're going to start playing, you have to practice. You have to play for an hour. So I don't necessarily stop my sons when they are playing. Unless they're,
Yeah.
But if they are in a game, I completely understand. Like if I tell my, okay, finish that game, do not start another one. If he starts another one, all bets are off, dude. Get off the court. Like I already told you. So
yeah. Glock, what are your thoughts on kind of what was said in the video, and then just overall? I mean, how does gaming work in your household?
So I absolutely agree with him. Like there's that analogy is really good because there is no really pause it anymore. Right. You can't pause all these games anymore. So I absolutely agree with what he's saying. In my house, my son's only 5.
Okay.
And I've kind of, talked about this before with people and, my wife and stuff like that. It's like, would I be okay with my son spending as much time on games as I do? Absolutely not. Because we do it as, whether it be a hobby or business, whatever you want to call it. We're doing it for something. I would never be okay with growing up for me, games was different. I always loved video games, but it was used as a babysitter in my house. And I was just talking to somebody yesterday about it. That's why, we don't have a bad relationship, but I don't have the best relationship with my mom, who my dad worked at nights and she would get home from work and didn't want to deal with kids. So I go play your effing game, so, and I would go play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for like 6 or 7 hours. And it was used differently. In my house, my kids, you play, we all play outside together. You got to do your sports first. And then maybe like my son played Lego Star Wars earlier for like 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Right.
And then, but as soon as dinner was ready, it was like, hey, time to get off. He immediately he turned it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and I agree. Like, as long as they're following those steps,
as long as you understand it's a privilege, not a right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's it's interesting on that. Like my wife and I have gotten in, like we have our oldest is 5 and then my daughter is 3, or I'm sorry, my oldest is 7. Holy shit. And then my daughter is 3. And then we have a newborn, which is a few months old. And it's interesting about how you say that, like with a privilege for it, because at some point my wife and I got my son so attuned to the fact of like, he has X amount of windows of time per day to game or to consume tablet videos or whatever, that like now it's almost like I've gotten to arguments with him over like it's a right, like, oh well, I didn't have my morning time, so I need to use that, double up type of deal. And that's been a challenge. And so like I've been a proponent of like, all right, in order to help you understand, because I understand how it is, like when you get in the zone, an hour goes by like nothing. We all understand how that is.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like helping him understand the concept of time. But you did mention a good one, which was like the fact of, is it okay for your kid to spend as much time as you do? And I think the challenge is like we're at a different point in our lives, whereas they are not. Like at their point in their lives, they don't if they shouldn't be playing games and consuming any type of screen content to the point where we are now, because like at that age we had it well balanced. Like we had the balance of outside time, alone time playing, and then there's some video game time in there. But we were fine-tuned versus now. Like think of it from an impact perspective. If you were to have the amount of time now that this, and then rewind back to that age, it would impact you pretty significantly. Versus now in your 30s, it's totally different.
Okay, but
first of all, I'm not 30.
You're almost
but
there.
I'm gonna say I disagree with you on that, because
okay,
I didn't have it's no secret. I am technology.
No.
Efficient.
Well, we just figured out my Xbox thing together. What are you
Yeah,
talking
that's right.
about?
But that's your Xbox.
Bam.
Like, I could do that. When it comes
That's the one thing I'm good at.
yeah, computers and technology, like I am surprised I'm where I'm at. Like it really blows my mind sometimes. That's because I did not get you stupid boomer fucking gift.
No, this one's better. Oh no, not that one. That one's better.
No, that was so. If I now,
If you're
This
listening on
is-
Spotify, you gotta go look on YouTube to go see what
you gotta go see it on YouTube to see it. Yeah, absolutely. So here's my thing. If I had more time on a computer
Mhm.
or with technology instead of playing outside, playing or just a system or whatever, playing sports, I would not be where I am right now. Like
Mhm.
in the aspect of I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So and it takes me longer to figure things out. I can figure it out because in my mind, I've always said this, I'm street smart more than book smart. So I will figure out a way to get it done, even if it's searching 900 websites to figure it out. I will get the job done. With my kids, we're way past everything is technology, especially when they're 30.
Well, I think it also comes down to the learning experience too. Like everything nowadays is tech driven from a learning experience as well, because
right.
And I'm not saying
my son can navigate his iPad and tablets and Switch better than I can. And I want that. It's a stupid fucking gift, man.
No. No, you're right. You're right.
They don't watch TV. They watch their tablets, whether it's watching YouTube videos or just watching, there's different apps on there. They are playing games on there. But to me, that's getting them ready for in 20 years from now when the technology is going to be different than.
Well, think of it this way. Okay, that's a great point to make. Think of your parents and how they struggle with technology, and now think of your kids and how they prosper with technology, because it's all as to when it was introduced. Like for your parents, or even my grandparents are even worse when they call me up and need tech help. But like it is this huge hurdle and challenge to them versus like your kids, where it's they don't know any different. They don't, like my kids, for example, don't even know what commercials really are, because we don't even have we don't have television. We stream everything. We've cut the cable like 8-9 years ago. So like when we have to go somewhere and they have to watch a commercial, they're like, "What the hell is this?" Like I was watching my show. What is this? It's like, oh, you have to wait. About 45 minutes out of your entire hour show is commercials.
Yeah. My kids hate when commercials come on.
But the other thing you brought up, which I thought would be really good to mention, was, and this reels back to what Todd Harris was saying regarding the fact, and we actually heard some chuckles in there, was comparing like playing basketball and pulling your kid off the sport, like off the floor. And there was a little bit of chuckles, because those chuckles are the leftover generation. So that's the generation before us. And so I personally think that our generation is the foundation for this. Our kids' generation will actually be the ones to prosper from this entirely, and it'll become more of a norm. Our generation is the one where it's like, it lives in that stigma now, where it's like, for some of us, it's like, no, this totally makes sense. It's good. But then for others, it's like, no, this is nerdy and geeky. Go outside and play. But then your parents, you got to think, they're one generation out of that removed. So for them, it's even more of a long shot. So I think it literally is going to take till our kids' generation. And think of your kids when they're grown up and adults. Right. It's going to be a norm to be like, oh, Fortnite, and this person makes $3 million on a tournament. Like, that's not going to be be this big thing that all your news channels play and they try to explain to their audience what Fortnite is, what video game, esports is, and how someone can understand the concept of winning $3 million in a weekend.
Right. And that's
what do you got, Glock?
I was gonna say, I pitched that video to a couple people, some people at work. I talked to them about. I talked about my brother, stuff like that, and they, you got some that disagree, some that agree. I said basically, you're using it as an example, and if that's what you're into, which is video games, something like that, it's a great example. It's it's team building. It's spending no, you're not outside together actually playing basketball, but it is team building nowadays. And
Sure.
Communications, like you saw my Twitter post about the fire at work.
Mm-hmm.
Bad comms happen in real life too.
That was awesome. That was so good.
Just for reference, real quick, I'm dead serious. This was not a fake. Looking for a viral post. There was a little fire at work. On a bus, and we have radios. Like supervisors and maintenance have radios. And someone started panicking, called maintenance, who you usually call for a fire, and the guy goes, maintenance, there's a fire, And the maintenance goes, where? Over here. Where? Over here. Where
It sounds like
over here?
Yeah.
It's the first thing I thought of, because one of the first times I ever played Fortnite, my teammate got down. We were playing squads, and all my teammates were down. I'm like, where is he at? He's on me. Who's on me?
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah.
I literally, after your tweet, I was waiting for sponsored by Turtle Beach. Don't let this happen to you in gaming. Like I was waiting for that to happen, and all of a sudden it's
people were asking me if it was a real story, but that literally happened. It was real.
That's insane. That's insane. Oh, as Glock turned away, his camera went all flickery, which is actually really funny. Yeah, you turned away and your camera went all the first time we did it.
Well, my wife just walked by, and she has
the death stare,
extraterrestrial stuff.
Yep. We all know that. So
she's a demon.
Yeah, I know. So I think with some of the notes Goldie had mentioned about is just kind of what are some of the things that your kids play. So we'll throw it over to Goldie. What are some games that your kids play? Is it tablet, mobile? What is it?
I would say so. The first thing they started playing was my Xbox. My oldest is 6. So when he was about 4. Was when Fortnite came out. He was playing it. It was kind of cool seeing him play. Was not cool spending all my V-Bucks like that. I'd walk away for a few minutes, come back, and he spent a lot of money. But
let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. So he started with that, and then it was over to the Switch. And the first game he really started playing on the Switch was Mario Odyssey. And his first game through, he was 4. He needed me for about 75% of the bosses to beat it for him to get him to the next spot. Second round, I did it maybe about 50. Third time, he did it everything on his own, and so he's beaten that now about 6 times.
Okay.
So it's Mario Odyssey, Fortnite is definitely the big one. Paladins, and he does play a little bit of Realm with me. Paladins and Fortnite are probably his two favorite. With that being said, he has been all over me. I'm saving for this because I've been saving for this episode. Carter really wanted me to say hello to both Glock and Octane. He watches Glock play Paladins on
snap
on VODs, and he watches Glock's YouTube. So he's been, Daddy, why haven't you said it yet? Why haven't you said it yet? Why haven't you said it yet? So
the question is, well, if I meet your son, would he be more excited than you were at HRX last year?
Probably.
Goldie saw the HRX, and he had the biggest grin I've ever seen him, Yeah. He took a picture before he said hi to me.
That's really funny.
So anyways, yeah, so he plays that. Ronan will be 5 in June, and Carter was 4, Ronan was 2, so Ronan wasn't really playing because Carter wasn't allowing him to, but he was sitting right there with him. And now this past, and then for the last year they take turns on the Switches on the Xbox. But this past Christmas, Santa brought them both Switches, and Ronan plays Fortnite, but his main is Paladins, and he between the two of them, if I was to say one of them would do something, Ronan for sure on Paladins, and Carter is all over Fortnite. Like he was clutching matches when he was 4 years old. Like I was playing with him. That's how I started streaming. It was me and him, and I was getting carried by my 4-year-old.
Hey! Why don't you get him? Why don't you get him a gaming PC and make him real gamers? All right.
And throw up that gift for that 4-year-old carry comment.
So, and yeah, I mean, I would love for them. So if they like, they play soccer. We just signed them up for baseball. It starts next week. Like they're gonna do sports, but if they get older, and I will never force sports onto them.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was always like, I was always had to be playing, without getting deep into it.
Yeah.
I will, if you want to play, great. If you don't have to.
Yeah.
But if they came to me and said like, I want to play competitively and like,
sure,
I'll get, I'll hire a coach. Go.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the fact of like, I want my kids to always be doing something. Yeah. So it's like, I want you to be doing something. Like pick your passion. I don't care. Right. Doesn't have to be sports or gaming or whatever.
My passion. That's what was my passion.
Yeah. Glock, what about you? What about your kids? What are they playing?
My son likes to play, like I said, Lego Star Wars, Lego Avengers on the old Xbox 360. But they also, for Christmas, they got those kid edition Kindle Fires or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, so they've been playing. I mean, they filled those things up. I had to buy 2 little micro SDs.
Oh, I know, they fill up so quick.
Dude, I went out and bought 228 gigs or whatever, and now I'm like, go download whatever you want. I don't care. If you fill it up, that's on you, dude.
Yep.
No, they play those, but like I said, it's one of the things where, we let them play, and I think right now they're pretty good. We say I mean, like I said before, I used to tell them get off, and you get the whole attitude.
Yeah.
I should tell them you're not playing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just lost it for a day. Like, you're gonna complain. I know. I because I game. I understand where you are in your game.
Yep.
And if I know like the way the Avengers and Star Wars game works for him, you have to finish the level before auto saves. It doesn't save in the middle. So I say, hey, when you're done with that level, turn it off.
Right.
And he'll try and he's tried to be like, oh, the level's not over yet. You're in a different place. I'm not stupid. Like,
this isn't my first game.
I've used those excuses before.
now that you lied to me, you're not playing tomorrow. Yeah. And that's the way I do it. Then also, I think there's someone asked me about someone asked me on stream like about a couple weeks ago if I would let my son, if he really was in the gaming, where I let him practice like 8 hours a day, like this person, people brought up Shroud and stuff like that. I said, okay, there's one, common, I think, misconception with, really good professional gamers. They did not all practice for 12 hours a day. Some people especially
at like high school and under. Like, you have to remember, like, these kids are elementary school. You don't want them practicing. Like, even if my son was like, I want to play competitive, not that it would ever be Realm Royale, ever competitive anymore, but, let's say Fortnite. It's like, I understand, but guess what? If you want to practice like 2 hours a day max, maybe 1 hour a day max, awesome. Go for it. Good for you. When everything else in your life is done, like, that's when it's
okay. But let me ask you this. You're gonna let it take them to, you said however you
Taekwondo.
Say it. Taekwondo.
Yep. Boomer.
Shut up. So stupid gift. All right. But so how long is that? That's an hour, 2 hours?
That's an hour.
Baseball.
Yep.
Okay, so soccer is 2 hours for me. Yep. So I'm going to take them to there. They're going to be practicing as they get older. They're going to be at 2 hour practices.
No, and I agree with that.
What's the difference in that if they're playing for a sport, if they're playing esport?
I think for my kid at my age, my thought is like, I want my son to be, and my kids, but all of them to be open to everything. So it's like, if you close the door now at 7 years old to say like, all right, this is it, then they're not trying any other sport at all, because it's like, I just want a game, and it's like, what else? It's like, dude, what else do you want to do? It's like, don't tell me you want to,
I was explaining the 8 hours. I'm not saying like you not.
No, you're absolutely
not 2
right.
hours, 1 hour, like you said. Baseball practice is an hour. Taekwondo is an hour. Everything about an hour. But I'm talking about like with my son. Me and my wife talked about was, she doesn't like. My wife hates video games. She actually does. But like I said, my thing is, my kids are at least gonna be homeschooled through elementary school. Okay. When your schoolwork's done, if you have some time and I'm not home, mom wants to let you play, that's fine. When you're going to be involved in sports or something after your school's done to keep you socialized, and once that's done and your homework's done or whatever's done, go right ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
My wife just is in the corner. She just went, bleh.
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure that your wife and my wife aren't like twins? Because like that's like identical in every way.
Welcome to hi.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hi,
I'm glad
come
I don't
say
have to
hi.
deal with that.
No,
I get a little pushback from my wife, but
Sure.
she's an athlete. You know, she played, you know, at
Sure,
the college
sure.
level. She
Yep.
understands it. And what's good about it is she understands that video games is a sport. So she just takes the sport mentality. She has an issue of the playing. It's a game. She, you know, she's not into video games. She understands like if this is the route you want to go. But I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not shutting anything down. They are going to baseball. They are playing soccer. But if they get older, and they come to me like, I don't really want to play soccer, baseball. I don't want to play football. And no one cares about hockey vog. Like, I understand you don't have to do that. So, but I'm not going to say you have to go play it. You know, if you want to play sport, then this is the sport. Now you're still going to what Glock said. To me, that's still socializing. You're still socializing.
Oh, no, I agree.
You know what I mean? I
agree. I'm talking about when they're young, like how they are.
Yeah,
now.
I think,
especially because my kids are gonna be homeschooled.
Yeah.
Okay.
They need to get out there. I mean, we have church, we have
homeschooled. You need to have
you
that.
also get out there and like, you know, I've already said like my son's playing baseball his first year and t-ball this year. I played baseball for like 15 years. And then I switched my passion over to kickboxing, MMA, and stuff like that until my little bundle of joy showed up and took all my money.
Yep.
And but I was always playing games in the meantime and stuff like that. But like you said, when he reaches a certain age, probably around when, you know, maybe junior high age or high school age, if he's not into sports, I'm not going to make him play. I did say that no matter what, though, with the way the world is nowadays, my daughters and my son, they're all going to learn how to fight. First of all, that's not an option.
I
can train you in the garage. I can take you to a school.
Something like that is a good life skill. Like, and I think, based off of what Goldie had said too, where I sit with it is like, there is a age, I think, and I don't know what that age is, but I think there is a fully age where like all of our kids are at that point where it's like, we want them to experience life. And so I don't want my kid, just like I said before, like this is it. Like this is all it is. Like I push on my son very much, like the fact of, because he's my big gamer. My daughter watches my son play, but like she's not a gamer at this point in time. But I push on to my son and I try to tell him, I'm like, hey, gaming is a bonus right now. And I know that's so hard. Now, granted, he's 7. Let's remember that. Not 15, not 18, he's 7, where it's like gaming's a bonus. And I tell him, I'm like, guess what? I don't game until everybody in my house is in bed, the dishes are done, and my whatever I need to get done is finished. And it's like, then it's bonus. And I always tell him that. I'm like, this is where we start out the conversation when I said like, okay, you know, my son's always frustrated where he's like, why did I get my early morning time? And it's like, it's a privilege. It's a bonus at this age. That's exactly what it is. And I think it needs to be treated like that and bestowed upon them. And I try to set that example because I don't do it full time. Like a good example for you, Goldie, is like you do kind of do it full time. So like it is a job. And then your kids see that. So it's different. My kids see it as hey, they go to bed and then at 9 o'clock every night is when daddy gets to play games because the day is done. So, but I would say that if all of us had kids that were 15, 16, 17, 18, we would have a different mindset because they've gone through life to the point where they've experienced things. Right. And now it's like, okay, you're coming to me and saying you want to play Counter-Strike competitively. Awesome. Let's buy a gaming computer. Let's figure out a training regiment that balances work life, you know, type of balance and then go for it. Like, and I would be fully supportive of that. But at this point in time with the age of our kids, it is not healthy for them to make that decision now.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that decision is being made now. They are playing, they are doing, but it is part of still their regimen. Like that, I want that to be a part of the regimen just because of the technology side and being, because, you know, in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's going to be totally different than technology. Yeah. Now, going back to what you just said, like I do this full time. So they do see me sitting here a lot.
Yep, exactly.
Over the summer, because they're here on the weekends, because even though I'm not streaming on the weekend, I'm still sitting at my desk. I mean, like for people that have seen my setup, it's like I'm landing airplanes, but it's you know, I'm here. This is where they're always seeing me. So it has started becoming a little bit of an issue where they think they can do what I do. Like they don't talk back to me as much. It's my wife. They sometimes get a little chirpy at the mouth, and she's the one they got to watch out for. Like she's like, stop chirping, like
stop chirping. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So they and going back to kind of what Glock said, is almost as a babysitter, and it's really tough for me to admit this, but it almost has become that because of the job I'm doing.
Okay.
When
you need some time, it's like, here, just play this for a second.
Yeah.
No, it's different when they're on there for 4 or 5 hours. That's different than here. Play for an hour while I do my thing, do my video editing, whatever. Like I said, I was on
Glock 9 doesn't do video editing.
8:30.
Yeah, but the issue now is
you.
So take example Cora. Cora's 2 years old. When she's with me all day. I'm streaming. Yes, she's sitting on my lap sometimes. Yes, she's playing with her dolls. But a good chunk out of that 6 hours, besides the two, so she takes a 2-hour nap. So that's 4 hours. So in that 4 hours, she's maybe sitting on my lap for an hour, playing with her dolls for an hour, but 2 hours, 2.5 hours is her playing on the iPad. And you know what? I need that because of what I'm doing. So it's tough to admit, and it is an issue, but or on the weekends when the boys, I'm playing or editing for 8 hours, they're playing or editing for 8 hours. Now it is the winter, so when the summer hits, there is more get your ass outside.
Sure.
Not but right now it's kind of where we're at, and it sucks to admit, but that is the truth.
Yeah, I think kind of last item on the topic I think would be good here is like, what do you guys play with your kids from a video game perspective in order to connect? So like for me, my dad was never into gaming. It just wasn't part of that generation. And then growing up, my parents weren't fond of it, so it was always something I had to do after the day was done, kind of like where I am at now. But what I find is like a good example is my son got into Minecraft, which is not my cup of tea. Like Minecraft in my world is what Legos was for me. Like I love Legos. Legos is awesome. Grew up with Legos. But I understand he was passionate about it. So I bought Minecraft for PC. And like after dinner, him and I have our time maybe once or twice every 2 weeks where he'll come down, he'll sit next to me, and we will play Minecraft together. And like I don't enjoy Minecraft, but I enjoy the time with him where it's like, holy cow, like he's so passionate about it and loves it. Like, and we'll talk about, like, if you turn to him and said, tell me about Minecraft, an hour would pass by. And I think the other game that like I've turned that around with him is like, I've introduced him to Realm Royale, and so he plays Realm on the Switch. So every once in a while, we'll do the limited time modes that they have now in the game on the weekends, because playing Realm during the week is just boring. And he'll enjoy that, and that's fun time for us to play together. And it's enjoyable to play together because we can both enjoy it. And I think that is a key difference between us and the generation before us. Where there wasn't that connection. I mean, if you had a dad that loved to play Atari and introduced you to Atari and played Atari with you, good for you. But you were a needle in a haystack, because that was not the norm.
Right.
What about you guys?
Go. You can go first.
So it's like I said earlier, it's Paladins, Fortnite, and Realm. Those are the 3 games. If Ronan is picking, it's Paladins 100%. If Carter's picking, it's Fortnite. If I get to pick, normally it's Realm. But the honest truth behind it is they can only play 1 or 2 rounds of Realm, and then they're
yeah.
Moving on. So Carter's definitely more the Fortnite side. He does enjoy Paladins, but Ronan. So put it this way, they have the battle passes have come out for the games, right? So I used to buy the battle pass, and they never finish it.
Yep.
So I got tired of doing it, or I'd have to finish it for them, and now I'm playing a game that I don't really enjoy on a system that I can hardly get my hand my hands are too big. So I got tired of that. So it became like, if you want the battle pass, you need to reach level whatever. So for Carter, it was 30. You had to reach level 30. Say, and Ronan, it's 25 on the Paladin side. But if Carter hits Paladins, he'll get that one too. If Ronan hits Fortnite, he'll get that too. Well, they both almost are done on their. Well, Carter actually is on. He completed his. So we got the battle pass last night. Ronan now is working on his edge, but he's not happy with the update. And coming from a 4-year-old, it's like, yeah, they messed up. so but I enjoy playing with them, and like you said, I don't care what game. It's just the enjoyability of playing with them, having fun with them, doing something that I know how I felt when I was a kid, and I'd ask my dad to play, and he wouldn't, or he'd try, and it was just like, yeah, dude, just move on. Like, I'm good. Like,
Glock, what about you? What about you, Glock?
Are we gonna close on this?
We can if you need to, absolutely.
Oh, no, okay. Well, I just had something I want to say after, because I don't really have a long story about.
Okay.
Basically, my kid plays the Lego games, and it's basically a puzzle game.
Okay.
And I just basically sit there, help him. Like, I watch him play, and then he goes, "I can't figure it out. I'm like, you gotta take that guy over there and do this, do that. Okay, go ahead, do it." That's about it. You
haven't tried him out with like paladins and stuff. You haven't?
Not yet, because he's on the Xbox 360 in the other room that has no internet on it.
Oh yeah.
He plays all the single player games right now.
Cool, good for him.
Yeah. So we're gonna start trying to get him over to other stuff. But I was gonna jump back to something real quick.
Sure,
we're
go
talking
for it.
about playing when the kids are older. I was gonna say from my experience, for parents, we're talking about dads in gaming, kids in gaming. And I was gonna say, it doesn't matter how good your kid is at video games. Coming from my own experience, and I used to be locked in my room, play games with my friends, socializing with my friends, playing Counter-Strike and all this stuff. Don't forget that even though you're locked in your room playing a game that you love with friends and stuff like that, depression is a son of a bitch. So, to make sure, don't just say, "Oh, he's in his room doing his own thing."
Yeah.
You need to communicate with your kids. That's why I said I mean, me and my dad recently started talking, actually having conversations. Me and my mom are just kind of like, it's like, she. I said we didn't talk when I was in high school.
Sure.
Call her. I call her at 3:00. But hey, what's for dinner? Fend for yourself. That's why my wife thinks it's so weird that I can eat a bowl of cereal for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh
my god, so can I.
She had home cooked meals every night. I made myself scrambled eggs, or I made myself cereal. That was my dinner. It's normal for me.
I would imagine a lot of your perspective now on gaming is I want it to be different than what you grew up with.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense.
I don't care if my son's the most freaking, this is the most non-boomer thing I can say, is cracked out on Fortnite.
Cranking 90s, bro.
Exactly. He's cranking 90s at 6 years old. I still, I remember as a parent, I gotta go spend time with them. I gotta talk with them. I gotta, in high school, I never really went out. All my friends and I were just playing games, and then the computer goes off, and you kind of felt like you're alone. And then your parents aren't talking to you. It's just like, so since we're on the topic of dads and gaming, kids and gaming, that's something.
Good point, man. That's a really, really, really good point.
I talk about mental health a lot because I'm not gonna get into my whole story, but one day.
I think I need to play. I need to play the violin right now.
One day I'll throw you guys through a loop, and you guys, who is this guy?
Nice. No, and it's funny to kind of wrap it back to Todd Harris's comments. It's interesting because when my son first started getting into gaming, I was more understanding. I think where I was like, all right, cool, hey. And I have found hey, you got 10 minutes left, you got 5 minutes left, you got 2 minutes left. And then I don't know why, but there was a period in time more recently where that all changed, and it was more what we dealt with exactly what Todd Harris was talking about, where it was all right, dinner's ready, you're done, get off, please. And I don't know why I ever lost that, but after watching his video a week ago, whatever, it was damn, this is a good reminder of I was that I need to have a little bit better understanding. Because I'm a hypocrite. That's how I am right now.
You've become your dad.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder, because it's when did I stop? When did I stop understanding that my kids have a passion, and that they're halfway through a level, and that they need my patience for a few extra minutes. Right. So no, I think it was good. Any last comments? I know Glock's tied up the current second. No big deal. What about you, Goldie? Any last comments there?
I mean, like I said, I'm excited that where the this journey of esports is going, and I hope that my kids get to experience what
Hey, buddy.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
How's it? I like your shirt, dude. I like your
Hi,
shirt.
dude. Love the shirt.
What video games do you like to play?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Nice. Who's your favorite character in Star Wars?
Finn.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. Have you seen the new movies?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Your dad spoils you. Is your dad a nerd? Is he a gamer too?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, buddy. You have a good day, okay? It was nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye.
I love it.
I caught him out of bed. I made him come over here. Hashtag content.
That's right. That's dad life right there. Okay, cool. So I think that's a good point at ending the show tonight. As a reminder, guys, we have this show on multiple platforms. Recently released on Spotify. It's on Podbeam. We're hoping to get it on more audio platforms. But for the visual individuals, we do have it on YouTube. So it's on my YouTube. It's on Glock9's YouTube. It's on Goldie's YouTube. So feel free to go ahead and check it out. Finally, if you want to know when a episode drops, Twitter is probably the best platform to be notified on that. So follow the show on Twitter, Dads in Gaming. We'll post it up there. If you guys have comments, leave them on any of the platforms that you're consuming the content on. So if it's YouTube, leave comments down below. If it's on any of the other ones, leave a comment. We do read them. We do bring them up, and in future episodes, we would appreciate that. If you're watching it on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on any other audio platform, hit that follow button. Other than that, I think that's probably it, guys. So as always, guys, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week for episode 6. Take care.